Is Isaiah.
Shawty made that exception, don't need no applause. High fashion, like gold, y'all. G-Wagon, or the Rover. I put some ice on you cause you got it cold. I know I gotta keep my shawty on go, go. Drop that ass to the floor. You ain't gotta do it on the beat, niggas go. I've been in fiends, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my pride, babe? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot of faith. I wanna start it, start in the part of it.
All right, so we're going to take a look at some trades that played out last week and also what we can expect going forward this week. So let's begin with GBP USD. So we're going to start from the daily time frame. First of all, we have to identify the trend of this time frame. So what is the trend? We can see we are still bullish on this time frame. We had a higher low, right? Higher low. Price broke this high, created a new high, right? But we didn't break this low, so it's still a higher low. This is still the recent higher low. Price is currently trying to push to the upside, right? So I'm just gonna go down on the 4H time frame as well, just to see where the market opened for the week. But first of all, we need to identify the low right here, right? So this was the low. Gonna go to the 4H time frame. Let me just activate this for us to see where the market started trading from. So this was the open of the week right here. This line right here, this is where the market opened. So when the market opened, we were just trading in this range, right? This was the high right here and this was the low, right? Overall, we know that the market is bullish, right? So looking at this structure, this was a support. Price was just failing to break this low, and this is exactly where we open for the week. So we're gonna go down on the 1H time frame as well. So right here on the 1H time frame, this is where everything made sense, knowing that this was a support. Price was just failing to break to the downside, right? So this is what I observed. I observed this double bottom pattern, which is a reversal pattern, right? So the neckline was broken. We just had to wait for the pullback and then a continuation to the upside, right? So knowing this pattern and understanding this structure, this is where the market opened. What we were just waiting for was the end of this pullback for the market to continue pushing to the upside. And this is a trade I sent to the Telegram group as well. So if you're not there, make sure you join so that you get these kind of setups, right? So looking at this was a nice pullback, right? And this was also a flag pattern, right? So all we had to do was to wait for this pattern to be broken just by going down the lower time frame to identify structures and all of that. And this was just the entry, right? Just break off this structure. This was the entry, stop loss somewhere here, right? And then TP at the previous high. This was a very, very nice setup that we took, which was shared in Telegram, as I said, right? So going forward, again, we also saw price doing the same thing. We got to this high, price failed to break above this high. We pulled back to that same level where price found support to push to the upside, right? So right here we had a support, price pushed to the upside. We came back again with a pullback, and then looking at this, you can also spot this double bottom pattern as well, right? So the break of this will be another entry right here, right? So it's the same structure that we identify here. This is an impulse. We had a correction, price impulse. We had another correction right here, and then price pushed to the upside. So it's the same pattern that is repeating itself. It's just like this structure, right? Looking at this, we had a nice impulse, price just corrected right here, right? And then an impulse, correction, impulse, correction. This is how the market moves. So all you have to do is just to be very, very patient and understand these kind of structures, right? So that you can get in. So I mean, this is what personally I caught. I missed this one, but it's very easy and it's very simple, just understanding this structure, right? I'm also gonna go to Euro USD so that we can also look at the structures and also the trade that we had over there. So this is Euro USD. This setup was spotted the same time I spotted the first setup on GBP USD. So I just had to just observe both setups and then take the right one, because as you can see, this is where the market opened as well. And when we opened, we had this double bottom pattern with the neckline being broken. Same thing, right? This is just the pullback. We just have to wait for this pullback to end and then we get in. So this was the impulse. We had a nice correction. We just had to wait and then get in, right? So it was the same kind of setup. I personally like to trade Euro USD, but this week I didn't really take much trades because as you can see, the market has been in this range all throughout the week, right? You can see the market didn't really push to the upside or to the downside. We opened right here, we just ranged all the way like that. So there was no clear direction as to whether the market was going up or it was going down, even though we had some major news events coming through, right? So we will check the calendar, the economic calendar, that is by going to fastbull.com. That is the platform I use for my news. So let's just check it out. So right here on Fastbull, as you can see, I'm just going to check my economic calendar, and I'm going to show you the news that played out last week, especially Thursday, because we had CPI, right? So this is Thursday, 11th of January right here, and you can see CPI news and all of that, right? Even though we had all these major news in the market, but there wasn't really impulsive movements in the market. So going forward next week, we also want to be sure if we're going to have some news in the market, and we can just do that by checking on this platform, right? So once you click on next week, you can see that we have, this is Monday. We can see upcoming news on Monday, Tuesday. These are all the upcoming news on Tuesday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well, right? So you have an update, right, of news coming up next week. So make sure you check this platform out. The link will be down in my description. So I'm also gonna go to another pair, that is GBP JPY. I never took that trade, but I just feel like sharing it because it was very beautiful and very simple. It wasn't on my watch list. If I saw that setup, or if I added that pair on my watch list, obviously I would have taken that. So let me just break that down. It was very simple. Yeah, so this is GBP JPY, and as you can see, this is a nice support level that price is failing to break below, right? Support, 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 right? And then looking at this structure, you can also see how the market got to that support. This was a very corrective nature, and this is a falling wedge pattern. Obviously, we know that whenever we see this kind of structures, it's a reversal pattern that price is just going to push to the upside, right? So on the daily time frame, we can obviously see that price is failing to break below. So let's go down as well to look at the structures. So this is the 4-hour time frame. This is where the market opened, but prior to that, let's just look at these structures, right? So let me just take this off, and then we look at the structure. Price was creating lower lows and lower highs. Right here we had a nice lower low. Price gave us a lower high, right? There's a double bottom pattern, but it's only a double bottom once this neckline gets broken, right? That is where we will get a confirmed head and shoulder pattern, right? This is not a head and shoulder yet until this high gets broken for us to confirm that indeed this is a head and shoulder. We can just expect price to push to the upside, right? So right here we never broke that high, so it was still a downtrend, right? So price got right here, and then it started trading to the downside, right? This is where we started having internal structures, right? Internal minor swing highs, and these are the major swing lows, major swing high, major swing low, major swing high. But this, you're looking at this internal swing highs and swing lows, right? Understanding this on the lower time frame is very powerful. I'm not really going to go down into details with this, but yeah, let's just look at this. So right here we had price just creating lower lows and lower highs internally, because this is the major high, this is the major low, right? So this was an internal structure, lower low and lower high, and right here price shifted from bearish to bullish, right? We changed right here, we started creating higher highs and higher lows. This was the week before, right? So for a major, or for the overall trend to shift, for the major high to be broken, we are expecting this high to be broken, right? So we can see this is a first bottom, second bottom, third bottom, right? So this is a triple bottom pattern with a neckline being broken, right? So when the market opened, we were somewhere here, right? So it's either price is just gonna get to this level and obviously drop again, or we will just break to the upside. These are the two directions that we're expecting price to go, right? So looking at this right here, what can you see? There's a nice impulse. Just as I said, we have a nice impulse correction right here, right? Let me just take this off, right? So it's either price is just gonna push to the upside because we had an impulsive move. This is a correction. All we had to do was to wait for this correction phase to finish so that we get in for the buys, right? Yeah, so as I said, I didn't take this trade because it wasn't on my watch list. If I saw this trade, I would have taken this simple setup, but it is what it is. Looking at this, we had a nice move to the upside and it was very beautiful. So going forward, what can we expect, right? So now I'm just gonna take everything off. Right here we have the major high being broken, right? So this is broken, and as you can see, we have an impulse. Price is trying to pull back, right? So we just have to wait for this structure to end so that we can, get in for the buys, and that's what we're gonna do, right? So currently we are in the pullback phase. We just have to be patient and see if price is just gonna give us any reversal pattern somewhere here so that we can get in for the market to push to the upside, because I can see that the market has a long way to go when it comes to this pair. This is the high right here, right? So if this happens, then we can expect price to push all the way to the upside to this level, right? So this is the first forecast. Let's take a look at another one. So my second forecast will be on gold. This is the daily time frame, and you can see price is just trading to the upside. If I add my trend line right here, we have price just trading to the upside. Price bounced on this trend line, we pushed to the upside, it came back to that same trend line, it pushed to the upside, and then we are back on that trend line. This trend line is just a guide, it's just a tool that we are using in the market. It doesn't mean the trend line is doing any magic. It's just a tool that we are using to guide us, right? So let's just take a look at these structures. Right here I saw price made a high. Right here we made a low, and then it pushed to the upside to create a new high, and that is where the price pulled back to, right? We had a nice pull back to this level, right? So are we gonna see price pushing to the upside? If that's what we are gonna see, then obviously we expect price to come back to this level. So I'm just gonna go down and we look at the internal structures as well. So let's go to the 4H time frame. So on the 4H, I'm just going to start from here. When the market pushed to the upside, we started creating higher highs and higher lows. You can see higher highs and higher lows, and price gave us a nice pattern right here. Left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder, the break of the neckline, and then price pushed to the upside. We had a nice correction phase. Price pushed to the upside like that, right? But getting to this support, price started becoming very corrective. So that is where I realized, okay, let's observe what the market is gonna do. And obviously this is what I saw. This is a nice falling wedge pattern, which is also a sign of a reversal in the market, right? So looking at the internal structures, I'm just gonna delete this, right? Let's just forget about the pattern, but look at this, right here we have the first bottom, we have the second bottom, there's the neckline, right? The W formation right here. So seeing the break of this high, this is just a nice structure break, retest. This could be an area where price can also just push to the upside like that, So this is what I'm just seeing for gold. If it plays out, then this is exactly what we're gonna do, on gold, right? So let's just take a look at another pair as well. This will be on DXY. And looking at the structure of DXY on the daily time frame, there's a bearish structure. Price just creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low. This was the recent lower high. Price has not broken above this level, so we are still bearish. Price can just continue going down, creating a new lower low, or price could also just break above, and then we will start pushing to the upside, and that is where we can also look at the break of the neck of the trend line as well. As I said, trend line is just a guide, so we're not really going to focus on the trend lines that much. We just want to focus on the candlesticks, So yeah, where we are sitting currently, we are sitting below a resistance level, right? So it's either price is going to break above or price is going to break below. If price breaks above, we will have a confirmed left shoulder head. This will be a right shoulder. If this price breaks above, you will expect a pullback, and obviously price will just reverse to the upside. Yeah, so that is what we're gonna do. It's either price gonna break above or we're gonna break below. So let's go down. Yeah, so with this time frame, you can obviously see how price is struggling at this level. Price tried to break above, it pulled back, and then right here you can see we tried again, we had a nice pullback, and so we are just stuck here. This is a range, right? This is a range that the market is just stuck in, right? So I can call this the support level. So this is the range that price is stuck in, right? So what I can say is, if price breaks above, then obviously we can expect price to push all the way to the upside, right? But if not, then we will also wait for price to break below. If price breaks below, this is where we can start looking for selling opportunities to the downside. So this is what I'm also looking at for DXY, because obviously you can see DXY is just consolidating, right? And this is the inverse of the EUR USD. So if you go to EUR USD, you're just gonna see the same thing, but the inverse of it, right? Anyway, let's just look at euro USD. Yeah, so this is euro USD. As I said, it's just the inverse of the DXY, right? So looking at euro USD as well, adding trend lines, let me just do this, right? Price is also just trading at the trend lines. We bounce at this trend line, bounce here, we push to the upside. Currently price is just bouncing at that trend line, right? So this is what I said on DXY. If we break below, then this will be confirmation of the head and shoulder pattern, right? So right here, this will be our left shoulder, this will be our head. If price breaks below, then this will be our right shoulder as well, which means we will expect price to push all the way to the downside, probably to the next support level, until we see if price is gonna break below as well, if we're gonna go lower. But as it stands, price is just stuck in this range, right? So this will be our high right here. If you go to the 30-minute, you will see that this will be the high. Let's just look at this right here, right? So we are stuck in this zone. This is my high, this is my low. If price breaks above right here, then we can expect price to push to the upside. If not, then we also wait for price to just break below, for us to be looking for selling opportunities. So that is it. We just have to be patient and see what the price will do. In trading, we don't lead the market, right? We don't lead the market, we follow. So we just have to be patient and follow the market, what the market is gonna do, right? What I'm also seeing is this nice triangle formation. So we will just have to be patient and see if price will just break below this, give us a retest, and then post to the downside. We will just see going forward this week, right? So that's it for the analysis. I hope you learned something and I hope you took notes as well. God bless and have a good trading week ahead.